Christianity has never lacked passion. It has never lacked activity. It has never lacked even opinions. What it has often lacked is accuracy. And accuracy matters because many don't usually walk away from Jesus. They walk away from a version of Christianity that he never taught. Many grew up in church. They sang the songs, they knew the language, they showed up. But along the way, they were handed a faith that seemed shallow, that seemed transactional, that seemed exhausting even. And so they left, not because Jesus failed them, but because what was handed to them wasn't actually Jesus. And so today we begin with a dangerous but necessary question. What if much of what we call Christianity isn't actually biblical? Welcome to Christianity Unpacked. This podcast exists for one reason: to strip away the religious noise and return to the practical power of God's word. Not as we inherited it, not as culture repackaged it, not as tradition softened it, but exactly as how scriptures present it. And so season 1 is foundational. We're not starting with what Christians should do. We're starting with what Christianity was never meant to be. Because if you misdiagnose faith, you will mislive it. And you can be sincere and be sincerely wrong. Modern Christianity is often marketed as a pathway to success, the solution to all your problems, a guarantee of comfort. But Jesus never recruited followers this way. He never recruited anyone this way. At Luke chapter 9, verse 23, Jesus says, "If anyone would be my disciple, let him deny himself, take up his cross, and follow me." Now, no one in first century Israel heard that and thought, oh, he was calling them to a life of convenience. The cross symbolized death. And so Jesus wasn't saying, follow me and I will improve your life. No, he was really saying, follow me, you will lose your life so that you can find it. Modern Christianity promises additions, what you can get and what you can get and what you can get. But biblical Christianity begins with death. Death to autonomy, death to self-rule, death to designing your own truth. And because this doesn't sell well, we edited it. In Matthew 11 from verse 28, Jesus says, "Come unto me, all ye that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." He says we should take upon ourselves his yoke, because his yoke is easy and his burden is light. Now, these verses are often preached as Jesus removing responsibility, but in Jewish culture, every rabbi had a yoke. A yoke was a rabbi's teaching. What Jesus was saying was that his teaching, his doctrine, the way of life he was introducing, Christianity, was easy and was light. And so Jesus is not offering no yoke. Jesus is offering his yoke, because Christianity isn't freedom from obedience. It is freedom to obey rightly. And so where we missed it is when we replaced discipleship with attendance, when we replaced conviction with comfort, and when we replaced transformation with information. And so we trained people to admire Jesus, but not to follow him. Christianity became something you add and not someone who redefines you. And so you need to ask yourself honestly, did I sign up for Jesus, or did I just sign up for the benefits? Am I devoted, or am I merely interested? Has my faith cost me anything? Christianity that costs nothing produces disciples who change nothing, who impact nothing. And so, if following Jesus has not cost you your old life, then you're not following the Jesus of scriptures. In the next episode, we're going to discuss, how do I actually read the Bible the way it was meant to be read?